Folks, I'm so excited to announce the summer launch of AG47apparel.com is here. We have mugs, stickers, and shirts. We have this Trump shirt. It's so cool. I love that image. We have all types of stuff. We have the Trump 2028, different colorways, and on the back it says Make America Great Again. We also have this one, the TNT shirt. And by the way, all of these shirts are the highest quality. I've used the normal quality shirts from this source before, and it's just, they don't fit right. So these are the good ones. They stretch, they fit really good. We even have the mug of Trump 2028. So yeah, AG47apparel.com. Go check it out. I'm really excited about this launch. And yeah, links in the description. Anyways, let's jump into this very interesting video. Alright folks, this is a video that I found that was posted 2 weeks ago that already has 113,000 views, titled Copper Penny Prices Soar, Don't Spend Your Pennies. Now I do want to ask everyone in the comment section, please let me know, do you save pennies? Do you invest into copper bars, or do you just simply stick with silver or gold? Let me know all of the different types of metals that you stack. I'm really interested to check out this video. I haven't watched it yet. I do not collect copper pennies. I just want to see what he has to say because I think this would be interesting, and I don't really react to many videos, so just some different type of stuff. With that said, I will link the original video in the description. So yeah, let's check it out. Let's see what he has to say.
Now there's a huge problem here. It is illegal to melt down Lincoln pennies. But you're making a huge mistake if you cash in your pennies for copper price right now. Now I'm gonna tell you guys why you should be saving all of your copper pennies right now, and you can go to the bank and get boxes, $25 boxes of pennies, take out all the copper pennies. Because if you have $100 in copper pennies, you actually have over $291 in copper value. Now this bad boy is 1 pound.
So pennies were last made with a majority of copper composition until 1982. So before 1982, it's 95% copper and 5% zinc. So people are going to the bank and getting boxes of copper pennies, trying to get dates before 1982, kind of like coin roll hunting, right? I mean, a lot of people go to banks and they get rolls of quarters trying to get pre-65 constitutional quarters and dimes. You could do it with dimes as well. So it's kind of like coin roll hunting, but just with copper. And it's pretty fun. A lot of channels specifically do this for content. This is their entire content, is just going through tons and tons of coins on a daily basis, and a lot of times they'll live stream it as well. But anyways, let's keep moving on. I just wanted to see the exact date, so if anyone was interested in doing this, they knew what to look for.
On the copper. So let's go over here and actually put these on the scale to determine if your penny is actually 95% copper or not. All right, so I got two pennies here, one from 1995 and one from 1964. Now
Now he should have just said the date. He should have just said if it's 1982 previous, it's copper. I don't know why he's weighing them. I mean, hopefully he explains or mentions the date after this. If not, that's a huge disadvantage to anyone that watches his video.
Lincoln penny prior to 1982 will weigh 3.1 grams.
Okay, yeah, he mentioned it.
That's the ones you want to keep because you'll see those are 95% copper. Now, if you have a zinc penny like this, it's going to weigh about 2.5 grams. Those ones, they're really only worth about their face value, or actually a little under 1 cent.
And actually a fun fact with silver, you can do this as well. Not with pre-65 stuff. That's not the point. The point is if you're worried about having fake silver or not. See, silver is a very dense metal. It's hard to replicate it. So if you have a 1 ounce generic round, or even sometimes coins they'll fake, and you're curious to see if it's real or not, simply weigh it. If another metal is in the center or whatever, in the middle of it, or replaced, it will not weigh exactly 1 troy ounce. because silver's the metal that specifically weighs 1 troy ounce. If you're talking about a diameter, of whatever coin they're trying to replicate, it will always weigh a couple grams above or below, but it will never weigh exactly 1 troy ounce, which is 31 grams, not 28 grams, which is a normal ounce. It's a troy ounce, 31 grams. It will be like 28 or 33 or something. That's the easiest way to tell if your silver is fake or not.
These are 97.5% zinc. They have very little copper in them. These are 95% copper. So anything prior to 1982, you want to keep. Go to the bank, get a box, pick out every single penny from 1982 and prior. If you want to know if you have a 1982 copper or zinc, that's the easiest way to tell. If it's 3.1 grams, you got copper. If it's 2.5, you got mostly zinc. These are worth 3.
And that's what he's saying about 1982 since they switched. So if you have specifically that year, then yes, you would want to weigh it.
3 cents a piece. So this is only 1 cent in face value, but it's actually worth 3 times its value. Now I think...
See, that's very important to note. And the same thing is with silver, but just on a much greater scale. A Walking Liberty $half only has the face value of 50 cents, but that's like a $20 coin. So they're saying that if the price of copper starts going through the roof, then that margin would would really appreciate beyond just 3 times the price. At 3 cents, it could be worth $2, but you're getting it at 1 cent from the bank.
It could even be higher. So if you guys don't recall, back in the day, this dime right here was only worth 10 cents.
And he's going into silver. Well, I like this guy. I'm going to stop pausing as much, but I just want to share a silver stacking channel's perspective on him. And I'm really curious how he's going to go into silver and what he's going to say about dimes and quarters, pre-65 stuff, constitutional silver, aka junk silver.
This $half was only worth 50 cents. This $half was only worth 50 cents. This quarter was only worth 25 cents. But now they are much more valuable, and I predict the same will happen to copper pennies. Now come over here.
Now, I get what he's saying, right? Just like I keep explaining stuff, and then right after I say it, he goes into it, which just shows that he knows his stuff. But there's a different reason why silver has potential more so than copper. There's a reason why my name is Silver Slayer, not Copper whatever. There's a big difference. Silver has opportunity because of its scarcity and how useful it is. Now, copper is a close second in terms of conductivity, but just the quality is nowhere near. I mean, silver is the most highly conductive metal, but still, there's a chance for all assets to rise, extremely high in price compared to what it is now. But in my opinion, silver just has a lot more potential, even with margins already that much higher.
Here, and I'll show you guys a little something on the screen. Now, back in the day, when these coins were minted, they were only worth their face value. This is 1964. It's a 90% silver $half. Now with silver price over $36 to $37 an ounce when I'm filming this video, this coin alone is worth over $13 just in its silver value. Now imagine if one day copper skyrockets so high that this penny is worth 50 cents a piece or $1 a piece. Could you imagine a copper penny being worth $1? A full roll of pennies, 50 cents? $50 in copper value? That would be crazy. Who knows? It could possibly happen because it did happen for $half. It did happen.
Yeah, but there's a reason why. It didn't just magically happen for silver. There's a reason why it happened. That's the difference.
Happen for dimes. This dime was only worth 10 cents in 1964. Now it's worth about $3 just in silver value. And then of course,
and I'm also thinking, sorry I paused so much, folks, but that's how I react to stuff. Every thought that I get while watching someone's stuff, I throw in. If not, you might as well just go watch his video itself if you don't want to hear me talk. But most people are probably watching this to hear my thoughts on everything he's saying. Now, think about this. Think about this. If you go buy a whole bunch of copper or pennies from the bank, let's say $5,000, or that's a lot for pennies, but for silver, a lot of times they'll do that. They will. And then all the coins that were just normal coins that weren't pre-65, they'll just take back to the bank and get for dollars, or they'll exchange them for more boxes of or rolls of dimes and quarters. But what if these people, these 113,000 people that's seen this video, they would probably be better off just investing that money into silver more so than putting all that time into copper, because that's a lot more time, so much more, so many more pennies you have to look through, and the chance of copper going up tenfold, comparing it to the chance of silver skyrocketing. Silver has a better chance, in my opinion. Now, not saying copper doesn't, but the people that are watching this video, I'm curious to know if they also stack silver as well, if they know about silver's potential, if they invest in a gold, or if this is someone just random person's like, oh, penny, you could get rich off pennies. I'm curious what the average person is that's watching this video, or if they're a true investor or not.
Any old silver quarters, they are worth at least like $6 to $7 right now in silver value. Also, 40% silver half dollars are like $5 to $6 just in silver value right now. So if we look at copper prices right now in 2025, June 11th, copper is currently at $4.41 per pound. Zinc is at $1.18 per pound. So if you have one copper penny prior to 1982, like I say, those are 3 cents a piece. Now, if you have $100 in copper pennies, you have almost 292.
See, he needs to go into the why. The why, though. Like, if you're investing into something, you're invested into it. You're putting your time and energy and thought and ideas into it. You're invested into it. Like silver, I'm invested into silver because how scarce it is, because of how useful it is, because of the price suppression and what the banks are trying to do and all this. But does copper have those same types of benefits, the same type of potential? Or are you simply just buying a whole bunch of copper or coin roll hunting with pennies, just hoping it goes up randomly with no reasons why it would go up, right? I wish you would go into what makes copper so valuable, or the potential behind it. I don't know. I'm a silver stacker. I'm sure some of you do research other metals, and maybe copper does have something going for it that I'm not aware of. But at the end of the day, what makes this so special, or what gives pennies this potential to actually want to invest your money into, besides just hoping that it's going to go up?
$2. Now, if we focus on the zinc pennies, these are anything past 1982 to current date 2025. If you have $100 in these coins, the melt value on the metals are only worth about $70. So it's actually less than face value. That's why you want to keep the copper pennies that are worth 3 times their face value. Now, there's a huge problem here. It is illegal to melt down Lincoln pennies. But if we look at this article here from Money Talks News, pennies, of course, minted before 1982 are 95% copper, making them worth more in raw metal than their face value, what we just spoke about. While melting pennies is illegal, that could change now that they're being phased out. If the government lifts the ban, copper prices could make these old pennies a valuable commodity. Holding on to pre-1982 pennies could be a wise investment, as their intrinsic value may rise over time. Now, everyone in the coin community has already known this, but the typical person maybe have not been familiar with it. A lot of people have been hoarding copper pennies for years, but you could still go to the bank, get a box of $25 worth of pennies, or get a couple rolls, whatever you can afford, and you can pick out all the copper pennies, and they're all worth 3 cents a piece at minimum. Now,
but the chance of you finding copper pennies isn't as high as people probably think. Maybe with pennies it is, because there's not as many coin roll hunters as there is with like silver stackers that go and get dimes and quarters and half dollars that spend their entire day going through with live streaming, or especially since silver is much more valuable, right? If you find a 50-cent piece and you could sell it for 15 to 20 bucks, you're much more inclined to want to coin roll hunt and go to the bank looking for that, compared to a penny that you could just get that's you're buying for a penny that you could sell for 3 pennies you could see why maybe there are a lot more pennies that are still floating in circulation that you could take. So maybe this would be worth it, or just maybe another hobby, or maybe you go to the bank and get $25 of pennies and then $100 worth of dimes or quarters and go through it all. Maybe mix it up, get a little bit of both. Who knows? I'm just curious what the amount of, like, let's say you bought a box of $25 of pennies. How many would be 1982 or previous? Like, how many? Like 20, 200? Like, what is, I don't know. With coin roll hunting, it's a lot more scarce than people think, and that's why when you get a hit, it's such a big deal. And that's why people love watching those types of live streams, because like when you find one, and you don't even have to weigh them, you could tell just by the rim, the edge of the coin. You can, like, when you take the roll out, you'll instantly know which ones are silver and which ones aren't. But anyways, yeah, let's keep moving on.
They lift the ban so we can melt down these pennies or cash them in for more than their face value, their copper value. That is to be determined. Now, a way that you can also make money by selling these copper pennies is by putting copper penny rolls all together. You just find all the copper pennies from the bank, put them in a roll of 50 pennies, and then sell them online. Say, here's a whole roll of copper pennies. That's simple. You make 3 times at minimum the value on those pennies. Now, in this article here from mining.com, we'll see the title here, Copper Price Must Double to Meet Future Mining Needs. Now, if copper price doubles,
now he's going into why copper has potential. I'm glad. This is a very well put together video. He really did hit all the points, the important points.
And let's just say the value of, a copper penny is now 6 cents instead of 3 cents. This is a good reason why you should just not cash in your copper pennies for 3 cents right now, in my opinion.
Same, right? Just like silver. Don't sell your silver at $36 an ounce. There's a lot of potential.
Right now, what I suggest you do is go to the bank, pick out all the copper pennies from those rolls, and save them and sit on them for a few years or maybe a year to kind of see what the government is going to allow us to do with them and see where copper price goes. Because the copper price per pound is on the rise. 2020, it dipped down, and now it is still on the rise since 2020. And I think, not no expert, I think it's going to go even higher. And if it doubles like this article is speaking about, then we're talking 6 cents per copper penny. And maybe years down the road, maybe one day, it will be just like a silver dime, worth a lot more than its face value. I'm not talking like 3 cents, 6 cents. I'm talking 50 cents or $1 per copper penny. You never know. It could happen. It's happened with dimes. This dime right here, $2 to $3 just in silver value. So if you guys want to start hoarding copper, I'll tag some copper bars to the screen, just like this one right here.
Okay, now he's selling products. He's a smart guy. He's linking all of these products directly to sites where you can go buy those copper bars at. For me, I don't do that. I just tell you guys to go buy from Miles Franklin. Andy Schechtman's the CEO. And if you wanted to purchase silver or platinum, palladium, gold from Andy Schechtman, send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. Let him know Slayer sent you. Best prices around, weekly specials. And Andy's a great guy. Just a lot of people buy from Miles Franklin just to support Andy since, everyone loves him. He's helped me out tremendously. I have a weekly podcast with him. He's just a great guy, and a lot of people, just want to support people like that do so much for the community. So anyways, yeah, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. Remember, if you guys wanted to check out the new merch drop, AG47 Apparel, that is my clothing line. I got rid of all the old stuff. It just kind of was outdated. I felt always want to freshen it up. So yeah, we got that in stock right now. Go check it out. And yeah, I love you all. I'm gonna wrap this video up here. If you wanted to watch the rest of this, you can, but I'm not gonna go into all of his plugs. I will link his video though if you did want to watch it. Anyways, thanks so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. Do you stack copper pennies, and are you about to? Let me know. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.